Hello out there. How's everybody doing? And welcome to the latest installment of The State of Joe. I'm your host, Joe Santiago. Okay, this has been building for a while now, especially in the last 10 to 15 years. There's been this overhyped, sensationalizing of two of the oldest basic modern inventions of mankind. The telephone, that according to Wikipedia.com, was invented originally by Italian innovator Antonia Musi, who is credited with inventing the first basic phone in 1849, and Frenchman Charles Bourcel devised a phone in 1854. However, Alexander Graham Bell won the first U.S. patent for the device in 1876. Who is really credited in the history books and recognized as creating the first mainstream telephone. Also, the other age-old invention that has been around for a while is the television, that, according to History.com, was invented essentially back in 1884 by German researcher Paul Nipkow. He came up with a system of sending images through wires via spinning discs. He called it the electric telescope, but it was essentially an early form of mechanical television. And in the early 1900s, both Russian physicist Boris Rosing and Scottish engineer Alan Archibald Campbell Swinton worked independently to improve on Nipkow's system by replacing the spinning discs with cathode ray tubes, a technology developed earlier by German physicist Karl Braun. History.com goes on to say Swinton's system, which placed cathode ray tubes inside the camera that sent a picture as well as inside the receiver, was essentially the earliest all-electric television system. The Russian-born engineer Vladimir Zworykin had worked as assistant to the aforementioned Russian physicist Boris Rosing. Before both of them immigrated following the Russian Revolution of 1905, in 1923, Zworykin was employed at the Pittsburgh-based manufacturing company Westinghouse when he applied for his first television patent for the iconoscope, which used cathode ray tubes to transmit images. History.com continues on. In 1929, Zworykin demonstrated his all-electric television system at a convention of radio engineers. David Sarnoff, an executive at Radio Corporation of America, or more commonly known as one of the old electronic kings of the past, the popular RCA company, Sarnoff was in the audience at the convention, and he was among the earliest to see that television, like radio, had enormous potential as a medium for entertainment, as well as communication. Sarnoff was named president of RCA in 1930. He then hired Zworykin to develop and improve television technology for the company. Meanwhile, an American inventor named Philo Farnsworth had been working on his own television system. Farnsworth grew up on a farm in Utah, reportedly came up with his big idea, a vacuum tube that could dissect images into lines, transmit those lines, and turn them back into images while still a teenager in chemistry class. In 1927, at the age of 21, Farnsworth completed the prototype of the first fully electronic TV system based on this image dissector. He soon found himself in a long legal battle with RCA, which claims Dworkin's 1923 patent took priority over Farnsworth's inventions. However, the U.S. Patent Office ruled in favor of Farnsworth in 1934, helped in part by an old high school teacher who had kept a key drawing by the young inventor, and Sarnoff was eventually forced to pay Farnsworth $1 million in licensing fees. Though viewed by many historians as the true father of television, however, Farnsworth never earned much more from his invention and was dogged by patent appeal lawsuits from RCA. He later moved on to other fields of research, including nuclear fission, and tragically died in debt in 1971. History.com continues, Sarnoff, with his company's marketing might, on April 30th, 1939, in New York City, as the National Broadcasting Company, or NBC, under the umbrella of RCA's broadcasting division, as NBC inaugurated the first regular television service to the American public, telecasting the ceremonies marking the opening of the New York World's Fair, including a speech by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. By 1940, there were only a few hundred televisions in use in the United States, with radio still dominating the airwaves, with more than 80% of American homes owned one at the time. TV use grew slowly over the course of the decade, and by the mid-1940s, the United States had 23 television stations and counting. By 1949, a year after the debut of the hit variety show Texaco Star Theater, hosted by comedian Milton Berle, the nation boasted 1 million TV sets in use. By the 1950s, television had truly entered the mainstream, with more than half of all American homes owning TV sets by 1955. As the number of consumers expanded, new stations were created and more programs broadcast. And by the end of that decade, TV had replaced radio as the main source of home entertainment in the United States. During the 1960 presidential election, the young, handsome John F. Kennedy had a noticeable advantage over his less telegenic opponent, Richard M. Nixon. In televised debates, and his victory that fall would bring home for many Americans the transformative impact of the medium. According to hypertextbook.com, today very few people are without a set in their home, and many even have two or more. According to the World Factbook published by the CIA back in 2007, there were over 219 million TVs in the United States. And according to Statista.com, data gathered on the global television market showed there were 1.7 billion pay TV households worldwide. In 2019, up from 1.667 billion in the previous year. To compare, there were only 120.6 million TV households in the United States in the 2019 to 2020 season. According to LoveToKnow.com, in a June 2010 gathering of statistics from CTIA, or Cellular Telecommunications Industry Association, best known as the Wireless Association, with a 35-member board of directors with representatives from Sprint, AT&T, BlackBerry, and Huawei Technologies. They claim that back in 2010, there were nearly 300 million cell phones in use in the United States. According to bankmycell.com, in 2021, the number of smartphone users in the world today is 3.8 billion, which translates to 48.16% of the world's population owning a smartphone. In total, the number of people that own a smart and feature phone is 4.88 billion. 4.88 billion, making up 61.85% of the world's population. The phone companies and network providers act like having a telephone that's been around since 1876, and before that, with the first real phone in 1849, it's not as big of a deal as these communication conglomerates make it out to be. It's a phone. It's just a freaking phone. It's not anything special. It's a phone that's been around since 1849 or 1876, okay? They've created this hype around the phone like it's the most wonderful thing. It does everything now. It's actually gonna be the thing that does everything. That, you know, the phone. That's one of the main ways you're gonna be doing everything, controlling, buying, and selling, like the mark of the beast says in the Bible. It'll be from the wrist or the forehead. Well, now they have this new thing where you basically you take and you for biometrics and stuff, you can get something in your wrist, or you can use your phone, which is you hold it in your hand, or and then you look into a iris scanner, it scans your eyes, and it says in the Bible prophecy that you will control buying and selling. The mark of the beast will be on their wrists and their foreheads. Well, think about it, guys. The wrist, the chip in the wrist, the phone, you're holding it in your hand. It's an extension of your wrist. The chips, they're getting put in people's hands at workplaces to buy things at kiosks and break rooms and stuff, and get into buildings. The biometrics is the next thing that's going to be totally, they're going to be making it everywhere in our society. But you put your eyes in this iris scanner, and it scans your eyes, and it tells them all your information. So that way, everyone's information's out there. Their medical, their vaccination records, everything is there. There's no problems. There'll even be more information there. Stuff about they'll take data from social media sites and different things that have happened to you in books and information they have on you, and they'll everybody will have a profile, and your eyes are specific. Like everyone has a specific iris that shows everyone has a specific one. Well, you put your head in that thing, it scans your eyes. Well, where are your eyes? Like the Bible prophecy says, it'll be in the wrist or the forehead. Well, the eyes, guys, think about it. The eyes are in the forehead. So you're scanning the forehead in the wrist. So that's that. And like I said, it's a phone. They're making it out to be something more than it is. This amazing do-all, give you everything you want, all your information. You Google it, and it gives you all this information. I mean, I do that, I have to say, but I'm using the tools. I'm respecting them. I'm not using them nefarious, and I'm just observing things around me, and I'm just telling it like I see it and calling it like I see it. So it's a phone. It's not a big deal. And these phone, TV, and wireless internet Wi-Fi connection service commercials, I mean, I'm telling you, are the most annoying commercials ever. Okay. Of course, next to prescription drug commercials, of course, and other ads where you'd swear they were made for people with the brains of toddlers. Okay. But different rant, different day. All right. These phone and internet commercials have this crappy, fake, cheesy percussion music layered in the background of the commercials, too. And again, stupid and super annoying. The music is stupid. It's like it's just this really crappy like music. It's like outdated. Like I don't even know what you call it. It's like public access music you'd hear on like public access television. It's very bad. It's just crappy music, and they want to act like it's this big thing, and you're gonna have Wi-Fi, and you're gonna have the internet. You're never gonna be bored, and you're gonna have this phone and all this stuff, and all these things will be available to you, and you'll have an almighty phone. And it's just the commercials are annoying, the people are annoying. They all like sit around, look at their phones, and they're like, so dumb. And the person talking to them, they're doing the commercial, and they look at them, duh, 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 duh. They're just so stupid. Okay? The people in these commercials are freaking morons. And it has to be said, they're stupid. I hate phone commercials, wireless connection, and cable commercials. They are the most annoying commercials. And then, of course, we have the drug commercials. But, so basically, and you're not made cool also, and in some kind of club just because you have the latest cell phone, okay? You're acting important on your phone and busy by fiddling with your phone when you really have nothing to do, okay? You have nothing going on basically in your life besides cell phone anxiety woes. And this has become your life. Everything on your phone is your life. You're sucked into that phone. And I'm sorry, oh pumpkin, I would kill to have that much free time to just sit on my phone and do nothing all day. But no, I have to work. I have to pay bills, and I have to do things because I can't do that. So, sorry. But while getting the latest iPhone every couple of years, customers wait in line for hours or days, and in some cases camp out in front of Apple stores, as there is a 2-phone purchase limit on customers per day by Apple. There is something called etymology, which is the study of the origin of words and the way in which their meanings have changed throughout history. Take the abbreviation of artificial intelligence, or AI. We break it apart. AI, or AI, or an I, okay, or one I. It's an inversion of IA, which is infinite awareness. And what does AI do? It monitors and watches over us. And we have what's called the Eye of Providence that's seen on the back of a dollar bill. And it is even on the back of the Great Seal of the United States. The symbol shows an eye often surrounded by rays of light and enclosed by a triangle. The The eye of providence represents the all-seeing eye of God, which is a symbol used by Freemasons seen on buildings and other architecture, and plays a big part in Masonic occult symbolism, and is also linked with the infamous group the Illuminati, a secret collection of elite individuals believed by many in seeking to control global affairs. One of the first known appearances of the symbol is found in the 1525 painting called The Supper of Mayans. The symbol of an eye was also used in ancient Egyptian times, like what's called the Eye of Horus, the sky god, son of Isis and Osiris. Horus is often depicted as a falcon, and so the ancient symbol was that of a falcon's eye. Now remember, the Eye of Providence on the dollar bill is set inside a triangle. Now the 3 points of the triangle represent also the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Now we look at the Delta variant of the coronavirus. Well, Delta in mathematics means change. It is the 4th letter of the Greek alphabet. It is also the 4th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, called Dalet, which looks like the number 7. And in Hebrew, that symbol means doorway. In esoteric circles, which are studied and taught to or understood by members of a special group to see different meanings of events, concepts, and different subjects that play a karmic and coincidental effect on the day-to-day events of our world. Now, Dalet, the 4th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, in the esoteric language, or called twilight language, means authority. So the delta signifies the coming of change and the coming of something, or the entrance through a doorway. Now, the numerical value of delta is 4. We have the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the 4 corners of the earth, also the 4 elements, earth, wind, fire, and water, the 4 seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall. Add that to the 3 sides of the triangle with the Trinity. 4 plus 3, is 7. God's holy perfect number, signifying enlightenment and the completing of a cycle like the 7 days of a week. We have the 7 years of tribulation, or the establishment of the kingdom of the Antichrist, and he will be crowned, which means the crown, or corona means crown also. We also have the sounding of 7 trumpets, which are followed by 7 bowls or plagues that are poured out on the earth, and many other places where the number 7 shows up. We have a delta wavelength associated with both unbalanced weather and the delta wavelength in the brains of people who are diseased, or who are in a sleepy state or a trance-like state of unawareness. With the name Omicron, we look at the Greek word omega, which means the end, and omi, which Omicron means the end of a period. Kind of like the saying, it is what it is. Then we have the word chron in the word Omicron. And we have Cronus, the Greek god of time. And his planet is Saturn, the 6th planet, representing judgment. And we might want to keep an eye on the children who are being vaccinated in high numbers now because of the Omicron variant. Omicron, there is a focus on the children of our country. So the god Kronos defeated his father Uranus. And Kronos was warned by a prophecy that he would be defeated by his own son. So in order to avoid this fate, he swallowed each of his children when they were born. He is known as the color or killer of children, or the destroyer of children. He is associated with his giant sigh that culls the people of earth, like a sigh cutting down wheat in a wheat field. This is why we celebrate the new year, because we've been spared the death of the Dark Father Kronos, whose main purpose is population reduction. Just like the Grim Reaper that also holds the sickle or sigh. And what's in the news now? Well, there are major arguments in federal court about none other than Roe versus Wade and questions of abortion, basically. In Revelation chapter 16, verses 1 through 20, it talks about how 7 angels pour 7 bowls or vials of judgment that each expect the specific people who take the mark of the beast, that each affects the specific people who take the mark of the beast. And isn't it ironic that we've had 7 major variants that we have been focused on: Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, and Omicron, with the Lambda, and Mu variants also. That's a total of 7 variants. According to newsnationnow.com, there are more than a dozen COVID-19 variants, with varying degrees of concerns. Now, another theory could be that these COVID variants are collectively the part of just one bowl being poured out. And for instance, AIDS could be thought of as a bowl, and possibly SARS, which obviously is a sibling of COVID-19. So as you can see, if we look into the different meanings behind the words that we use, we find coincidental meanings, whether it's planned that way or by the means of divine intervention. Take, for example, the word Hollywood and magic go hand in hand. You see, Hollywood was the type of wood used by the Druid magic practitioners as magic wands. Look at Mickey Mouse, how he holds a magic wand and sprays stars before every Disney movie. And it's as if all the Hollywood stars starring in movies mesmerize us, the viewers, and has us almost under a magic spell, with a lot of our traditions steeped in pagan rituals and forms of witchcraft. Now take the word television. We have the word tell. Now say the word television faster and faster. It will start being pronounced television, 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 television. So the television is actually the tell-lie-vision. It's the thing in the sight of our vision that is telling us lies. Like, if we buy this particular product on television, it will solve your problems, or maybe cure an ailment, or promise you riches, or true love and happiness, perhaps. Then take the word cell phone and again divide it up and disassemble it, if you will. We obviously have the word cell, Well, if we wanted to, we could dismantle the word cell. We could think of it, think of the C in cell could be thought of also as the word that's pronounced the same way, spelled S-E-E, C, the word C. Or the word C sounds the same as the letter C. Then we have ELL after the C, is cell, ELL, which sounds like the masculine word for the word, basically word in Spanish, the word L. So that's the word cell, break it up, CL, or the. So we have C, the. Then we break up the word phone, and we come up with the letters PHO, which is pronounced like the word foe, spelled FOE, or enemy or adversary. Then what we have left is the N and the E from the back end of the word phone. And let's use that O and add it to our N and E to create the word own, O-W-N. So we have the device called the cell phone. It's the foe that you see that owns your cells, or owns you, because you are the cells that make up the body of the life. And it is proven that the RFD radiation waves from cell phones, laptops, and tablets and iPads, when connected to Wi-Fi, which are used by so many young kids today, when connected to a phone signal or 3G or 4G, these tablets give the same amount of RF frequencies or radio frequencies of typical cell phone radiation. According to www.fda.com on September 1st, 2019, it said RF radiation is of a concern because the FCC says, quote, it has been known for many years that exposure to very high levels of RF radiation can be harmful due to the ability of RF energy to heat biological tissues rapidly, unquote. And we're wearing phones on our bodies and in our pockets and basically pressed against our skulls also. A lot of us, when on our phones, and you kind of have to hold the phone in some way, it's like microwaves. It causes cancer for convenience. Because we either don't care that it's killing us, or it's just another technology that man wants to tinker with but not comprehend, or why it truly works. Well, how do you get technology? Well, by gaining knowledge. It goes back to the Garden of Eden. Like so many things, of course, we have the beguiling serpent that tricks Adam and Eve to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil that God forbade them to eat from. This one tree in the middle of the garden, and we ate the fruit, and as the serpent says, it will open your eyes, and you will become like gods. But you shall surely die, with the price of inevitable death being the trade-off for the knowledge. And it seems we are living the Eden archetype, the fruit of today that gives us the knowledge to become like gods, from Eden to the here and now. Wouldn't you know, ironically, it all comes back to the apple. Well, thanks for listening. As you can see, the sun is going down. I have no lights on, so it's getting dark, and that is just completing my ominous video. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing all right. Um, my wife just came home and interrupted my video, so sorry about that, and sorry for the no lighting. It's getting dark and eerie and scary. But anyway, you want to say hi?
Hi, everybody. No, I didn't interrupt him.
My wife Cheryl, she's the one that has to deal with me and put up with me all the time. So think about that. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. A lot of stuff in this video. Sorry for the delay. Been a lot of stuff happening. I'm working 6 days now, back to the 6 days a week. So I don't have as much free time. But I have some other videos in the works that are almost done. Some other things I want to release. There's like corrections and stuff that I got going and stuff. So I'm going to release a few. Probably going to take a few videos on the corrections, but because I'm going to go into other details and stuff. But anyway, that'll be it. I'm going to get going. Going to sign off before everything goes black here. And thanks for listening. Be strong and diligent out there, and also be careful. They did say there's another variant coming. There's news that there's another variant coming. So it's supposed to be a bad one, and Ebola is making a comeback. So there's more stuff to worry about.
Meteor showers tonight.
Yeah, it's probably the I think it's called the Nearest or something like that. Meteor. They had some meteor showers. I think it was the 11th meteor passed. I think it was 2 million miles away from the Earth. So they had 12. Was it 12? It was either 12. I think it was 12 or 20 earthquakes in California the other day, or around that time. And actually, I think it was 20. But anyway, here I am messing up my facts again. I'm going to have to correct probably some things. But anyway, thanks for listening. Be safe. Get dark here, so I'm going to go. The sun's going down. And I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great day. Be safe. Be strong. Keep the faith. And as always, peace out.